Now, the banking and the market, basically, it is demand and supply. So what we have here since ages, what we know is the products or the barters that they used to do before money comes in or the banking. Banks took over this system and used it for their own production or their own creation of products. Let's say, call it instruments, money, currencies, all those things. So the value came and they encouraged the market for using the value as a paper, giving it a value and people using it. Then it became having a value. That's the value of the market. So if you need tomatoes and there is no tomatoes in the market, it will go the value up, basically, and vice versa. So money started being like commodities or like product like that when the banks created that. And they took the initiative through the ages to be the only monopolized system to print, issue money, and use it. So that's why now we see the whole monopolization of the money system and the banking system is on one side, and the customers and the people, client, merchants, everybody is on the other side. So then evolution, the cycle came to our today's crypto market. People are creating basically value with crypto or ICOs or tokens or whichever we can call it. So now they're creating their tokens based on utilities and use of cases, and that gives again the value of the token. And there are rarely enough valuable tokens these days, as you know, the market going crazy. So going on to the age of the banks and age of cryptos that we're seeing today is the crypto market, basically technology supply and the whole token issue. It's new and it's newborn, and we cannot compare it with the banks. Banks, the system was there since mankind, and actually 400, 500 years ago it was organized as a use case for the mass with the governments and everything. So we see the crypto is newborn or not yet. It's being created, each one with its own use cases. And then going to the bank, it's already on the edge, because within a few time, the generation changes and the banks will be converting into crypto, as we know. Okay. And then let's go to the journey of how use of crypto came into the banking system. So banking the market, and when the beginning of the paper money was traded, it was physical trade. Then the internet era came, or the telex or the communication data. They adopted that, and coming to the SWIFT system as messaging to make it fast transaction instead of waiting 15, 20 days for any transaction. That also was taken by the banks, monopolized, and they basically took the whole system of SWIFT and made it purchase the product. So now you cannot send money without SWIFTing system. So we are in an era that now over SWIFT, that's the blockchain, and that's where the banks looking into integrating as well. So each bank, as we know, every major bank has his own tech team looking into this new system, let's call it. And in coming years, we're going to see that they're going to monopolize that as well if they can. Okay, that's a bit different structure. That's why they are reluctant and they are fighting it now. But they will succeed, because test as a Bitcoin has been done on a blockchain. It proves that it's possible, and the use case of such innovation, let's say, it will help the banks. So it opens for them doors to their clients, to their instruments, to their products to be traceable, trackable, and monopolized by their own system. That means they will create their own money, they will create their own issue, be independent from governments, and then start using the government as an issuer of, let's say, the e-money or the electronic money today, to become the government supplying the only regulatory or the legal side of it, and the banks using the printing of the money again. That's the printing of their own tokens. So you will have X bank token or Y bank token, not the traditional fiat euro or those things. And it will be in the same concept as today, the tokens or the crypto electronic money transfers, how it is, as we see in this picture, for example, from the beginning, the barter system to the electronic money, the card and everything. So that will become between the governments and the banks as a traditional use case for the blockchain. Okay, let's go to the market, the banking market, and bridging the gap. So, simply bridging the gap between the old traditional bankers that today they're monopolizing and looking into the Bitcoin or blockchains, that they don't like it because they don't understand it. Well, honestly, because most of the old bankers, they rarely know how to use a computer or know the technology behind it. The new generation guys that they are more into the crypto or the technology of the bank, they are mostly they use the crypto market now. So after maybe 10 years or 5 to 10 years, we will see the new generation, the new bankers that were raised on the crypto system, they will convert the banking system to the new blockchain era or the new technology. So there, the new generation will take over with their knowledge, because as you see, the millionaires now of the, let's say, the crypto millionaires, they are within their 20s, 30s, and within 10, 15 years, they will be 40s, 50s, and they will be the future bank. So this is what we are trying to achieve, because the new generation knows the crypto more than the banks, and the banks, they don't know the crypto. We will try to build the gap between these two generations, and instead of fighting the bank, joining it. And then will be basically the banking system in the future. So that starts now, because none of the banks know, as I said, the tech world, or none of the tech world knows how the old traditional bank legally or regulated or all these things can work. So like Moorwant, they have the establishment and they have the appetite for the crypto market, and that's why we are joining with them to use their ambitious system with us and continue. So here Carmen can explain more on the coming points.
Okay. So basically, I think, okay, next, right? No? Okay. So now it's a changing environment. What Moorwant brings to the picture is the knowledge around the compliance and understanding the money laundering, the whole KYC, the whole things that happening. So when I'm sitting around my breakfast table, my daughters, they're talking about the cryptocurrency. They're discussing different discussions. On the way to the event with Sarah, head of the marketing of Moorwant, we are sitting and having a very insightful discussion with the Uber driver regarding the future of the cryptocurrencies. You see, everybody is changing. You know, the whole environment getting closer. The generation is getting closer. And the banks have got not quite an understanding of this changing environment. For a lot of those guys, the compliance is a topic that, and a KYC is a sort of a topic that they see, okay, this is high-risk customer, is changing the address, or there is a different, discussions around how they do it. But you need that understanding You know, with Weekend we had a discussion. It's you submit as one set of documents to one bank and the other one to other banks, and they have completely different attitudes towards this. I do it as a hobby. I go and submit the KYC documents, and one set of documents goes through with no problem, and the other set comes back and says, no, this is not correct, and they're not accepting it. So we see that this is happening, and there is a need of interacting with that.
In this case, we discussed it about, it's
Yes.
not the KYC system is wrong, it's just simply check boxes.
Yeah.
But the problem is with the person that is handling it. So basically, the bank has a certain structure, they have to go through that. And you go through that, the bank will see it's okay. But the person that is handling it, because he's scared or he's worried about his job, or the bank that they will they get penalized these days from different governments or something. That's why they refuse the KYC. Yeah. And that's a best use case of, for example, the AI or the decentralized KYC that can be done by personal level to the other people automatically without going through emotions. And that can be resolving the big problem between the banks and the crypto market, because then it will follow the standard and the market will be satisfied, because first it's decentralized, it's not controlled by a bank or government that is doing the decision, and then you have the other factor that there is no personal involvement, there is no attachment, there is no refusal. Everybody will be the same view on KYC. Yeah. So that helps linking the crypto market to the banking requirements, let's call it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And we are covering that. And one word to the more one on that one, right? And they are happy to take the initiatives on that. Robert was the head of the card and payment at the Locklord, and he's been an expert on this area and has got that passion and ambition with you guys to actually spearhead that initiative. So a few words on the ISO. I don't need to explain it to you what ISO is, but everybody knows, and that's the purpose of this. It's coming from the IPO, and it's a way of crowdfunding the cryptocurrencies. And HeadPay has got the initiative,
yes,
and they are also providing the environment for that.
Yes. What we are doing is basically, well, honestly, we were far from an ICO. We created the project 2-3 years ago to start with the whole concept, and we got involved on a personal level until now, actually. And then we saw the market as an IPO will not work for the crypto, and for the crypto it's much easier as an ICO. The banks will not accept the crypto money coming into the banking system, as we know. So there we are involved in our platform to create that. And we initiating our ICO now, actually after this event, and we're gonna start our pre-ICO. We don't like to call it an ICO because they hate it, because you need the KYC, AML, all those things to bring in the money afterwards. What we are doing is going through the traditional banking IPO system as a security, as a utility, and then jumping into the crypto system. So that gives us the covering the gap between the bank needs and the crypto raising of, let's say, funds, crowdfunding. So this is where the ICO comes in, and the future ICOs that we will gonna use cases, for example, come and launch with us, we will do the same way for their ICOs, so that when they raise the money, they can use it actually in a bank. It's not that raise the money, keep it in crypto, and then answer million questions to just transfer the money or buy something. So this is a problem for every ICO since 5 years. And this is what we're going to try to help in and find the solution for them as well with Moorwand. They can use the money, they can issue their cards, they can send the money, receive the money through HeadPay, and that's basically simply the projects that we will have.
Absolutely. Just to put it into the context, how Moorwand is bridging that gap, right, is basically as Moorwand is a global issuer and has got the BIN sponsorship, they are providing the framework around
Yeah.
that and making with the BIN sponsorship this possible, and also provide the licensing part with the e-money and making sure that it's fully regulated. That gives also that more trust and credibility to that whole thing, because those
Yeah, because when they transfer the money, they know that it is a bankable money. It's not a crypto money is being transferred.
Exactly.
So the crypto side is being done on the head pay and converted to normal fiat money, and the fiat money going to the bank, basically.
Absolutely.
So this track is where the problem is these days with everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody has the same problem, each one ICO that passed.
Absolutely. So basically what we said, I think everybody agrees we are going to come away from a central currency system to a more decentral.
Yes.
The banks are going to also start to build they are already started to build the blockchain platforms. They are going to issue the ICOs. We will see more of that coming, right? And they need a framework around that. How do we then go from those environment to
so simply just now I had a meeting with one banking guy that was interested in the concept. Very simple. If you take, I was telling Caroline also, if you take an elephant and the mouse will run much faster and go curves and things more than the elephant. The elephant cannot walk, basically. He can go the straight line that he used to go, and that's the banks. They will go straight. So the bureaucracy of the bank, the regulations, the legal structure, the shareholders, all these involvements, they don't let the bank to be pioneering a concept of a blockchain as fast as the blockchain system is moving or the crypto market is moving. That's why we need like HeadPay or other smaller companies that they can get the initiative together faster, put it out there and be useful than the banks, because the banks, to do a concept like this, they have the money, they have more money, power and possibilities than us, but what they can do is, until to use that $1 to spend it on a blockchain, they will go through a chain of approvals until they spend that $1. So it's already past 1 quarter, 3 months. So it's useless for the crypto market, because day to day there is changes. And this case will help the banks now. They see our progress, let's say, or our project, and they will move again with it. Now, in the future, what they are planning to do is they are planning to do their own blockchain, their own banking system, their own, because blockchain, basically, we know all, it's traceable, there is the track record, there is the data, everything. That's what the bank's looking for. So the second choice is the black and white, the good guy and the bad guy. Banks, they think that they want only the good guys, and the bad guys, they will stay on the outside. Life is not like that. It's always plus and minus, white and black, and there is the good and there is the bad always. So the bank knows that also. So that's why the solution of the bank is, they, as I said earlier, they will create their own crypto system, they will create their own banking system to their own clients that are already KYC'd, they are already AML'd, and that will be their first client base, first use of their own tokens. Yeah. And then thereon. But this is, we're looking as a banking procedure, it will take 5 years minimum. So the banks now, they are, even now, if they are meeting, taking decision, until they execute that decision, it will be 1 year. So in the crypto market, that is already a 10-year age. So it's much faster. And if anybody has a question or something, we're ready for them.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, you mentioned that in the end, the banks are going to create their own crypto?
Yes.
So what's basically the difference? What will be the difference then? What will be the difference?
No. The difference is, you put it like decentralized system for their clients. So the decision will be done by their own clients. For example, you have, let's call a bank, Barclays, okay? Barclays, UK. He has 10 million clients in UK. Those 10 million clients will decide this issuing of the token of so-called Barclays, okay, who's going to use it? They're going to use it because it's their bank, they're the clients. So basically that use of Barclays will create the merchant of Barclays. he will accept the Barclays token because it's the same client, okay? So that's the decentralized system for Barclays token, okay? But it is controlled, not centralized. It is controlled, administered, managed, and everything by Barclays. But the decision is coming from the decentralized system, from their own clients. It's not like now the board or the shareholders deciding what your money they will do with it. Because if it's your money now in the bank, you cannot take it. You cannot do anything unless they decide. So you have to turn it around because they are seeing that currently that's happening. So it will be the decision of the client what he does with his money under the administration of the bank, obviously. Okay? But the bank will not be able to use, like today, the bank's supposed to be administrating or managing your money and not basically you're trusting them to do that. But they're monopolizing in a way that they are taking control of your life. They are not letting you take credit. They are not letting you do business with certain countries. They're not taking anything. And we know everybody's passing through these problems. And personally, I came from such problems to these solutions. So this is the decentralized system of the bank.
Maybe I missed it, but do you already work together with a bank or multiple banks?
No, Morwand
is a bank.
Morwand is a bank. Is a back office bank.
It's e-money licensed and is operating passported across Europe, EEA, right? Mm-hmm. And is also a member of 3 schemes already, right? And utilizing this compliance and license knowledge, working with the technology and ambition of HeadPay, this is coming together to bridge that gap.
Okay, thank you very much.